Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I'm losing steam a little bit today. I didn't get enough sleep last night, so I do have a Divine Feminine read for you. I don't have sand art though. I'm just going to do the oracle cards at the end, so it won't be as long as usual, so that might be a good thing for you. So I'm going to get right into the read for the feminine. It is January 2nd, 2019, and the day was the 15th is the devil. Make sure about that. Yeah. So you have the High Priestess and the Devil. What a combination. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So sorry if I have stuff in my teeth. I just had what are they called? I always remember it, and then when I go to say it, I can't remember it. The chia seeds. They just stick in my teeth. I think I have it right here. Here. Sorry, I was just eating. Okay. So the Divine Feminine read today on the 2nd for the High Priestess and the Devil, which is a 6. It is love, family, community. It's just the shadow side of your daily existence, okay? So it was just 111, okay? So the Divine Feminine read was done at 5:05, and that's not the first time that came up today, because I was doing a read for someone today, and 55 was coming up then as well. The major arcana are Wheel, Hanging Man, Reason, and Indigo. Well, Indigo is actually the card after the read, because I always pull a card for after the read. The Wheel is obviously the Wheel of Fortune. It's the Great Wheel in the Sirian Starseed deck. And then the Hanging Man is the Hangman. Reason is the Emperor. And then the after the read card was Indigo, which is the Magician. 2 cups, 1 pentacle, 3 wands, 2 swords. The court cards were Queen of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and Knight of Swords. Queen of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and Knight of Swords. So it sounds like, you know, a mom and 2 kids type situation, but certainly doesn't have to be. It could be a friend of yours, it could be you, and it could just be messages and offers, that kind of thing. And I just wanted to bring up too, in a lot of the Divine Masculine reads that are coming up now, no court cards are coming up, so they're definitely spending some time alone, isolating, going through whatever they're going through. The numbers that came up in the code for the feminine, and it was all about love for the feminine. From the numerology deck, the love card came up. So it was all about love for you. The number codes were 10, 10 again, which I tell you keeps coming up, and it came up again today for the feminine. 8, 10, and 18, as well as 21, 32. And the moon was definitely, that energy was coming up today. And around the Queen of Wands also. Okay, so she's been coming up yesterday and today, so that, but it's not coming up in a positive way. It's about the Queen of Wands having, in the Sirian Starseed, she's got fire in like 8 hands, you know, so she's got her hands into everything. So the message from the coding was about clearing burdens. It was literally clear 8 burdens or clear 8 confessions in order to help the Divine Masculine integrate within. All right, so by you working on you and your burdens, throwing things away or clearing burdens, whatever your burden is right now, by you working on getting rid of some of those, you're helping them because they're reflecting you. And it's all about love and sharing the love energy, not the sexual energy, the love energy, okay? So also the Queen, like the Queen of 18 was coming up, and then I was getting Queen of the Night, you know, Whitney Houston. But definitely coming up is the Queen of Wands, okay? And that's not love. The message in the coding was, that is not love. There's one that they're talking about love, but the message was saying that that's not love. You know, love is to help, not, oh, and I watched the other Boleyn Girl last night, and that's so much about this message. If you're going after your agenda, you're going to get screwed. So just let it go. Do your best to express what you need to express, and just, you can't, you know, it's your life. You have to find your way to be happy and be happy what you're doing. You can't control other people's thoughts or feelings, what they want to do with their life. All you can do is control your own thoughts and actions and feelings. So just be, you know, stay at 0 point, be your loving self, and find the things that you love to do. And certainly don't beat yourself up, because when you need to cry, you need to cry. It's doing all the healing work, the wound work, letting it come up, releasing it, and then going back to 0 point. You know, that's the dance. Going back and forth with the masculine within yourself and then within your masculine. So a lot of the codes that came up from the, I wasn't very impressed with the codes that came up from the system today for this read anyway. It was a lot about things with flames were coming up. The Buffalo Sabres versus the Calgary Flames came up as the first entry. That was October 30th, 2018. The NHF picks. And then odds came up, ... 3 or less goals, 5 out of 8 games, and the Flames were 6-0 and Sabres were 5-0. And then songs for songs, SONGS, live from the belly up, 10/8/18. And that was about unsafe storage of 3.6 million pounds of highly radioactive nuclear waste. Okay, so that was, you know, they were protesting for that through songs. Advances in Mechanical Engineering, 2016, Volume 8, 6, in parentheses, and then 1 through 17. And that was Range of Flames. Snake Sage, and that was from Naruto. And then Sage's Song, and that was Ensign, and that was from IDS.org. So I'm not going to go on with that stuff because I really don't think they were very significant. The Sage Chronicles came up, Chapter 10, and then Chapter 8 came up in another entry. And Chapter 10 was Sages, which is sage, but it's also queen or wise one. And in Sages, the words that came up that stuck out to me were that Yami, or Yami, whatever his name is, licks blood off of his sword. So the mentality of whoever's using their sword, okay, they don't care. They have no feelings. That was coming up for this Queen of Wands too, like from that family that there's no love, there's no affection. And then I was getting in Chapter 8, that was titled The Snow War, Part 1. So I don't know if we're going to be getting snow, but the Snow War Part 1's coming up, where a palace was burned down, but the princess was saved. 8 Ways to Shine, Life Lessons from Our Hanukkah Flames, and then list of medical mnemonics came up as well. Oh, something else came. I Am Next by Sage Love, which is on YouTube, but it was about police brutality, and that came up in the comments today, so I want to bring that up. And then, like Moths to the Flame, False Idols, Another Voice for the Sheep. Chris Brown came up, New Flame, and then Is Unfailing Love Possible? And then it answered Flame of Jah, J-A-H, which was from Song of Solomon, 8:6. Flame Thoughts came up, and then A Destiny of Flame and Sorrow. So all that stuff is just coming up around it's obviously about flames and feelings, you know, deep feelings about the flames in between them. So for the Divine Feminine read, it starts out with Destiny. The Wheel of Fortune was the main card in the underlying energy, the bottom card of the deck. Expressing feelings, heated passions, coming out of isolation, letting go of wounds for new passion. The Queen of Wands lying in waiting, showing her hands of fire. Okay, so multiple hands in all sorts of things. Justice is out in the open and walking away or going within. Lovers of Magician refusing to see, or they are in their knowing, but he doesn't understand that. Walking away from the justice system potentially. Holding his DNA strand. So the Magician's holding his DNA strand in his right hand as the infinity floats above his head, surrounded by roses. Lovers divided by mountains, but you can't keep them apart. They will find a way. Love will find a way, okay? He's been burnt before, and can he trust this orange orchard? And Kundalini rising, and Spirit's connecting with me. And it's funny because the orange orchard is really actually the apple tree from Adam and Eve, but it looks orange in the card. So I keep getting the orange orchards, but it came up before, so it's important for it to come up. You know, apples and oranges. You can't compare apples and oranges. So there's a judge and a hierophant out watching. And whether it's just a judge, it could be a Libra since justice is Libra, but definitely looks like a judge is watching. So there may be something that's been going on for a while, and maybe they're now taking time on their own outside of the court to do some investigating on their own. But judge and hierophant, so hierophant could definitely be a religious leader or just someone who's in charge of an establishment. They're out watching, walking away or within to feel sorrow and loss they've been going through. The Emperor is in the knowing of his destiny. So trust comes up for the feminine. Also calling in your soulmate is beneath trust. So if your masculine doesn't feel you trusting him, he's not going to trust you because you reflect each other. So you have to learn to trust your masculine. At night, the Emperor allows his sadness to grieve and go within. So, when he's working, he can't do that. He's a totally different person. He's disconnected and he's on. So now he is allowing himself his sadness to grieve at night, to go within and walk away. Gemini, Taurus, and Libra and Aries were coming up there as a friend in a nightmare, a Queen of Cups nurturer, and a pouty Sagittarius drinker, possibly. Also lantern and fruit, dessert, and fan, a fan of knees or a fanny, toe knee, or just toes and ankles. Queen of Cups may be a wish, but a dream and a nightmare, but a healthy friend. And then music comes up with self-discipline beneath it. Both of them very important. And music was coming up again for my client today. So it's very important because music helps raise your vibration, okay? And singing even more so, okay? Because when I write, and once I've written a song and it's become more polished, you're channeling your music. So you become one with the instrument. So it really does raise your vibration. And after if I'm playing for 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, every time I leave and go to bed, I hear the ringing in my left ear because it's just raising, it raises your vibration. So the Empress reversed is suffering at work. Okay, so Empress reversed could be an out of control, crazy boss woman. It can be someone who's just in lack mentality. It could be somebody who's miscarried, or it could be an Empress who's normally okay, but she's just not okay today, right? But there's an Empress reverse suffering today at work, not getting along, or possibly leaving a job, or a third-party situation through work. The Page of Cups is on the lookout, holding back passionate feelings or communications, or maybe somebody is ziplining, some kids, because Page of Cups definitely could be a child, Pisces, the youngest. But it's also about messages of love. So the Page of Cups definitely could be out, like rising above and sending out innocent messages of love, but also being out on the lookout. And communications are delayed, those passionate communications. Also children in uniforms, but wearing different shoes to show their identity. So if they're in Catholic school or whatever it is that requires a uniform, I was being shown for them to do what they can to show who they are by, they can identify each other as being different by the shoes that they wear. So it was coming up. Also new kitchen floors or porches, decks, printing press or metalwork, brownies or brown knees or legs. Mothers unhappy in lack and not expressing feelings to their kids, and vice versa, and back. So the mom and kids are kind of not expressing, especially if the moms are twins going through their rough time in the journey where they're crying a lot or that kind of thing. It's hard to express because you don't want to share all that with your kids and make them feel that way, but they're going to feel it anyway. So it's best that, depending on their age, to share as much with them as you can. The Emperor knows his destiny but is holding back feelings. Trust that the Queen of Cups with music, because words are revealing, okay? So whether it's you and your own lyrics being revealing, or if it's by your downloads that you're getting of songs, the lyrics are always very revealing. Okay, so trust the Queen of Cups, okay? The one who's the nurturing, loving person, or who has music, whose words are revealing. Recently, the Hanging Man with hurt right knee, also that could reference anger, and red drum was coming up again. From Here's Johnny, okay? Awakened at work by the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So he's seeing this now, that, oh, that's what happened. Like, so when she came in to see me, it awakened us. So some of the masculines are learning that. holding back feelings, and realizing now that the feminine was holding back their feelings then because of he was in a karmic situation or married or whatever it was for the Queen of Wands. And she knew that the Queen of Wands was holding his purse strings and didn't want to make waves. So the foundation is the Page of Cups opening the heart. The High Priestess falls on her face but just stands up and saves grace, letting others fight above if they want to. So it's all the things that the masculines are observing to learn, and the children as well, about what's really happening. So centrally for the feminine, the Queen of Pentacles is the center of the read, whose lover is stable and holding back passion. The Empress with romantic tie with flame and royal line trying to eclipse the Queen of Pentacles' face. The challenge being burdens of the King of Pentacles, meditating in 5D or resting, healing by laying down swords, death of the Hangman stalking. Okay, so maybe they're stalking or just, looking online, or they could be driving through your neighborhood or whatever, depending on the situation. But it's like they're finally putting down the sword, and for some of them that sword was stalking, so they're not going to do that anymore. The Empress presently trying to control opportunities for transformation. But now, in the head of the feminine is the Ten of Cups, which is really reversed energy. It's about the family, the home, a burden done for the Queen of Wands reversed. Unhappy spawn of the devil was coming up here. But it wasn't just, it could be the karmic who's acting like a child reversed, or the karmic could have a child who's just like her, and that's where it's coming up, the spawn of the devil. Or the karmic's mother is the devil and she's the spawn of the devil. But that was coming up about the karmic energy. No, like I said before, no feelings, no love. And not all the karmics are like that, so don't assume that, okay? You know if it's your situation. There's extreme differences in these situations. There can be very conservative twins, and there can be very way out there, criminal, all sorts of situations. Everyone's different. The Empress is stuck in head and emotions and peace, or without peace. The family is unhappy about magnetizing a new start and playing ball, maybe asking for a loan, for passionate obsession of a twin. Moving past flame and truth, there might be an arrest or rehab involved, which may have happened already or is just happening now, or deviant sexual practices. So all different situations for all different twins, okay? Soon the Emperor is covered, like there's too much on him, bored of prison. The Knight of Cups or the King of Swords offering love, wants to offer love to the Queen of Swords. New passion. Who is exposing fake people, players, performers, repeating patterns of love and starting over. The Divine Feminine is coming up as the Four of Swords, or the Four of Orbs in this deck. Resting and meditating, unhappy family without opportunities or feeling like they don't have enough information. Overwhelmed, holding back the truth. The cards that came up were passion, children, and true love for the feminine. Okay, so with the children card always has to do with that your children are affecting your love life, and then true love is, this is a romance of a lifetime, and of course passion. So it's a magnetic attraction. Around her, independent, she's being independent is how she's being seen, or there could be somebody else who's being independent, who's deliberating their expression of feelings, whether they want to express them or not. Clear blocks of the wounded warrior mentality, right, because that's lack mentality, destined to be incomplete, crying, or overwhelmed, with news or messages about justice, Libra, or divorce and love. The cards that came up for you are love, environment, and healing. Okay, so love is all about, actually love was right side up, but environment and healing even more important, and that was coming up earlier as well. Environment is green, the green card, all about being green and natural and being out in nature. And it's 44. It's that number of complete mastery over your world, and the Masters and Atlas, okay? And it's that Four of Cups, which is grounding and integrating, but also boredom, and not appreciating what you've been offered. But there's a reunion here coming up with a Queen of Wands. It doesn't mean it's the twin reunion, although it could be. There's a reunion with a Queen of Wands energy who could also be just a mystery woman from afar. It doesn't have to be the Queen of Pentacles. It's the tarot sexual magic, which isn't always showing that. It could show something else. The Queen of Swords, third party, is psychic with keys, but a prisoner of their feelings. Lots of messages and wanting to talk coming in from children, friends, clients. The Knight of Swords is sending 5D message in a bubble. And I'm getting like that's the Divine Feminine. So it could be a bubble or a bottle, or it could be the masculine sending something to you. A few spry young men may actually be vying for your attention, Divine Feminines. Messages are everywhere right now. Young people are looking up. For some, it's a reunion with your flame, and others, a chance to dress up. Break codes. Or break patterns. Or travel, if you please. It's all up to you, whatever makes you happy. Indigo. The King of, or the Knight of Swords can be an announcement as well. Presently, with dysfunctional family or a loss of family money. They're seeing synchronicities. Partner is not seeing eye to eye and uninspired. Avoiding disaster or cleaning up a mess. The King of Wands is reversed, which could just be really exhausted. Decides to move on ahead. Okay, so it's not, when the King of Wands is reversed and there's not a lot of, wandy or bad sword cards around, it's not usually about the King of Wands being angry. It's usually exhaustion. So it's good. The King of Wands reversed could be a karmic as well, who's finally giving up on the relationship if you're still with your karmic in a marriage or whatever. They're letting go and they're moving ahead. So it's good. It's definitely a transition point right here. It also could be the masculine leaving his relationship. Destiny of the Page of Cups opens the Divine Feminine's mind to a fast-paced communication or energy exchange. It could be a heated exchange or a quick exchange with the Hanged Man. The Queen of Pentacles may be burdened or confessing with the Emperor Wounded Warrior. End of family announcement to Indigo and the Karmics. So definitely could be some feminines announcing their ending of their relationship to their masculine, children, or karmics. But there's definitely some kind of shift with the relationships right now. So whatever you're shifting, it's going to reflect in the masculine as well. Because like we always say, the feminines are the lead. Okay? Don't wait for your masculine to do it for you. They have to be risen by you. You're the 5D gate. They're the 3D gate. Okay? You're pulling them up. And they're pulling you down. It's like let's meet in the middle. But you have to lead. Okay? So don't, I know how hard it is. Believe me, I cried for 1.5 years almost every day. Okay? So I understand how painful it is. I'm not in that place anymore, though. It's about learning to let go. The surrender is finding happiness on your own. It's not about letting go, but it's all about, the day when you can be so happy doing what you're doing during the day, and you're okay that your masculine's not with you because you wouldn't want them the way they used to be, especially if they were cheating on you or manipulating you or lying to you. That's not the version of your masculine that you want. So when you get to the point where you realize that's true, I don't want him when he's this. He has to grow, and you have to trust him that he's going to follow his guidance, and you have to trust the universe, God, Source, Creator, that they know more than you, and that's the faith and the surrender. Okay? So I'm going to pull your cards for you. We have the Ascension deck. Everyone take a deep breath. So important to get these deep breaths in, because when we breathe normally, we don't breathe all the way into the bottom of our lungs. Okay. So, for my Divine Feminines here today, everyone watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, this January 2nd, 2019. January 2nd, 2019. What does everyone need to know? What is the important message? Okay. So we have Mahatma energy at the bottom of the deck. And one card came out. Another card kind of wanted to come out. So I'll tell you what that is. Mahatma energy is number 6. The affirmation is I invoke the Mahatma energy to flow through me. And that's all the Christ Buddha energy and the 12 rays. So that's just the underlying energy. The card that came out for you, which I haven't seen in a while, is Paul the Venetian. Number 37 is the King of Cups. 37 is the 1. It's that masculine energy. It's the masculine coming back into his creative abilities. This is amazing that this card came up, because Paul the Venetian is who helps people with their creative pursuits, and this is definitely oriented toward the masculine. So the great Master Paul is Koan of the 3rd ray. He lifts people's spirits and sets their souls free to create beauty and inspiration through music and art, and also in practical ways. This card encourages you to communicate your essence by writing, painting, or in any heartfelt manner. Call on Master Paul to help you express your visions, and he will co-create them with you. These visions will hold such light that people will be touched by them, thereby accelerating the plan for Earth. And Paul carries the flame of liberty and is helping to set you free. And the affirmation is, I express myself creatively and harmoniously. The other card that wanted to come out is number 27. So we have 37 and 27, a 1 and a 9. Okay, so again, we have ending into the new cycles, which have been a pretty consistent thing these days. 27 is the 9. It's the 7 of spirituality on the inside and the feminine energy on the outside. Paul the Venetian was the 7 of the spirituality on the inside, and the 3 on the outside, which is more social and lighthearted. 2 is more feminine and more subdued. But Metatron says, you're blessed to receive this card for the mighty universal angel Metatron, who's coordinating the ascension of the planet, is touching you. He's illuminating your aura with his golden orange light as he works with your stellar gateway chakra. And golden orange has been coming up a lot this week, if not last week too, which is, you know, between your sacral and your solar plexus chakras, or your navel chakra. Okay. Your message is to relax and allow Metatron's wings to enfold you. Ask to visit him at his ascension retreat in Luxor during meditation or sleep so that you can receive his guidance. This may come as a thought, a whisper, or a feeling. And when you ask sincerely for help on your ascension journey, Metatron will open new doors for you and guide you. And the affirmation is, I attune to Archangel Metatron today. Okay, and this is, it's a message for everyone, but specific to the masculine, since Metatron, I always see him as overseeing the masculines, and more of Michael overseeing the feminines. We have the past life deck here. So take another deep breath. Clear and align. Clear and align. Clear and align. Okay, so for everyone watching this this January 2nd, 2019, I will get it. It's only the first couple days of January. So January 2nd, 2019. January 2nd, 2019. For everyone watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, from our masters and angels. So let's ask Metatron and Paul the Venetian. Metatron, Archangel Metatron and Paul the Venetian. What is our message today from the past life deck? What does everyone need to hear? Oh, that came right up. So baby's at the bottom. Okay, we have the baby birdie in the nest. Okay, and then nest egg was coming up just now too. So that's the underlying energy. It's not the cards that came out for you, but Greco-Roman is just beneath that in the Colosseum. Oh, and it really I love how the cards reference the movies that I just watched the night before. This comes up in my cards all the time. And if I'm watching a movie while I'm doing my cards, like my cards will literally be unfolding the movie as I'm watching it. It's so funny. So in the movie I watched last night, you know, it was about masculine control, but it was about two sisters fighting over the love of the king, who was already married to the queen, but they were summoned to come because she kept having miscarriages, so he wasn't getting his male heir to the throne. And it was about their fight to get him. But it was really, and Spirit's connecting with me because it's really bringing up the Colosseum energy, because it was like they made the women into like the lions in the pit, you know, fighting each other, where the one fought for her agenda and the other sister just truly loved him, and so she let go. And so of course the one that fought for him was Anne Boleyn, and she got beheaded in the end, even though she didn't do what they said she did. She was going to, but then they didn't, but she got beheaded anyway, her and her brother. So that's the Colosseum's coming up in the baby, and who gets affected by this is the baby birdie left in the nest, because she left behind a newborn baby who then the sister came and took. So the sister had a son by the king before he was still with the queen. But he didn't want to keep that baby because then he fell in love with the other sister, Anne Boleyn. You have to watch it. So anyway, that's coming up with that energy about the baby. That it's the innocence, and the innocence was a movie that came up yesterday too. It's the innocents that get affected in all this. But that doesn't mean to stay in a bad relationship. It means you're affecting the innocents when you're in a bad relationship. Because they're learning your relationship. You're teaching them to stay in a relationship that doesn't love you. This is what you're teaching your children. And something else I wanted to bring up too, especially for the masculines who don't understand what the feminines have gone through. If your daughters came up to you and told you what the Divine Feminine told you, because this will happen, because a lot of our children are twins as well. If your daughter came up to you and said that they could feel a boy that they're in love with someone else, would you turn them away? So this is a question you need to pose, and you need to understand from that perspective what the Divine Feminine has gone through according to how you would see your own daughter if she came to you with the same information. And would you treat your daughter the same way that you treated your twin? So the cards that came up for you are ships and karmic relationships. So again, this ships card always brings up for me blinds that they're opening. And it's very pure, this card. The white is very pure and clean and crisp and new. The other one is a plane and it's very old. And it's a military person leaving their karmic to go off to war. Okay, so the baby birdie's left in the nest because a lot of soldiers didn't come back from war. And then, of course, the karmics would end up being single mothers. I was just getting the good ship lollipop. The good ship lollipop. Alright, so Shirley Temple, curly blonde hair, and open the blinds because blue skies are coming. Your ship's coming in. Your ship's at sail and coming toward you. Fresh and new, all polished up just for you. Leaving their karmic relationships on good terms. That's a really nice message. A third card came up, vows. Okay, so it wasn't as significant as the other cards. It kind of was like an afterthought that came out. So it's reminding you. Okay, so if your karmics, your masculine or your feminine was in a karmic relationship and they worked it all out and people are on good terms and breaking up, and now your ship's coming in, don't forget the children of the karmic relationships, okay? Because they're a part of the vows as well, okay? But we're about cutting all cords, all right? You're only committed to your higher self, including your children. You need to teach your children how to connect with themselves, with their higher self, with God, Source, Creator, whatever their belief is, not yours. Allow them to know that they're the best judge for themselves. Of course, as parents, you're going to guide them, but you also have to allow them to guide themselves. So it's really very, very important here as well. And that came up earlier today, too. All right, and then Journey of Love. Clear and align. Clear and align. Everyone take a breath. Deep breath. And relax. Clear and align. Clear and align. Clear and align. Okay, so again, Archangel Metatron and Paul the Venetian. What is the message here from the journey of love for everyone watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned. Metatron and Paul the Venetian. What do we need to know this January 2nd, 2019? And the bottom of the deck is Dance of the Planets, which came up earlier also, but this is just the underlying energy, number 56. Okay. And 56 is an 11. The cards that came up here are Loving All That Is. Okay, that's number 22, which is the Fool, and a 4. And the other card is number 48. Man of the Earth, Woman of the Sky. And 48 is that 8 of Cups, of walking away, going within, which was definitely in the read. The Fool was definitely in the read too, falling on their face, but okay with it, getting up. It's just, when the Fool thing came up in the read today, it was definitely about the model who falls on her face on the runway and then just gets right up, and she's fine. It happens. Shit happens, right? Okay. So, let me see these two cards. They're very different energies. They're both flowing of the, actually it's interesting because the woman in the picture looks like a reflection of the same person. But one is in very smooth, feminine, calm, circular energies. They're smooth. The other one's very choppy, scattered energy with more harsh colors in it. It has some of the same colors as this one. I'll show them to you side by side. See, the one has the colors of the other one, but you see how much more harsh this one is over here. It's got more choppy energy, but it's like the same card, but a reflection of the same girl. Okay, but she goes through both of those energies. There's a time to hold the light. And a time that the light holds you, or sometimes you have to bleed to let go of the negative light or the used light, anything that's no longer for your highest good. So it's a purge, really. So also I'm getting, because that came up in the read earlier today for the masculine, be careful out in the sun not to get sunburned because it's very potent right now. It's okay to bask in its glow, but be careful you don't overdo it, right? So you don't want to hurt your eyes or burn your skin, okay? You don't want to get burned, right? So I'm going to read these both to you, number 22 and number 48. Number 22 says, loving all that is. You wise, awakened being, you can love all that is. You can love your tears and your sadness, for they are a testament to your open heart. You can love your numbness and fatigue, for they show that you have worked hard and are now in need of rest. You can love your energy and passion. Even when you're so far ahead of the pack, you have to wait a while for everyone else to catch up. Maybe a day, maybe a decade or so, because you chose not to curb your enthusiasm for anyone. You can love your anger because underneath its fire is a desire for respect. And you can love your peacefulness because within your heart, you really don't care for fighting sometimes, all the time. If there's something that is shaming you, worrying you, challenging you, it's okay to just love it. It will make sense when it needs to, and until then, just love it, even when it hurts, for it's part of your own divine nature awakening. It may just be like a painful cramp happening because it's been curled up for too long. This oracle brings you a sweet message. Okay, and we had a sweet baby in a basket. You're just asked to love. Everything else will take care of itself. Okay, and this is the faith. How many times we have to tell you, stop trying to control. You can't control the universe. You can't control other people. You can only control what you say and do. And the divine is asking you to go with the flow, allow the universe, sorry, this is like in my face. Allow the universe to know better than you. That's the surrender. Okay? If you trust and go with the flow and only act upon inspiration, then you're allowing only the best to come to you, and it will show right up at your doorstep. But you have to allow. This is about the feminine learning, not just to give, but to receive as well. The other card is 48. Let's see here. 48 says, man of the earth, woman of the sky. I see myself in you, and you in me. We may seem so different and sometimes yet so similar. Even beyond this, I know deep within that we are one. I can lose myself in your light and receive your light within my body. I can witness the dark of your shadow and enter it in with my compassion. I can find the divine in our connection, letting go of what I thought I was, and can be broken apart to become as one with you, even if only for a second, and know the divine more intimately than ever before. Our passion leads us to each other, and in each other we find our true selves. This oracle brings you a message of sacred relationship that leads to divine understanding and experience. You're being opened up to sacred relationship either in your current relationship or one that's on its way to you now, in human relationship and in divine relationship with the heavenly beloved. Know you are worthy of it, and keep a light of gentle hope and respect kindling in your heart as you anticipate the union with your beloved. Know that even when it's dark, when it challenges you, when there's sacredness unfolding, the love of the divine wants to reach us, not only in our happiness, but also perhaps more so in our darkest hour. Let it reach for you through your relatedness with another, and do not be afraid to be broken and opened, for in that cracking of what you thought you were, you shall begin to know what you are, which is heaven on earth. How rare to be born with a name of love, what challenges await that I must face, or voice to listen to from above, telling what I must embrace. Each day I walk a path unknown with no regrets for where I've been. Each experience is mine to own. No choice is called to live again. How strong I am, I ask myself. The measured test unfolds each day. A blessing of enormous wealth. Inside the gift will always lay. Okay? So, I know this because I've been through it. I've been through it with a lot of other twins too. There always comes a point, no matter how many times you've been told, is like you get confused again and you don't know what's right and what's wrong. Am I allowed to feel this? Am I allowed to be this? And you're allowed to be all of it. But it's just you opening and learning to be happy and to find happiness in your moment with the things that are around you every day. Because remember, once you and your twin come together, you still need things to do, whether it's together or apart when they're busy, when they're doing something, if you're not working together. But you always need your own, your own identity, who you are. And you don't want your twin coming back when they're not in a good place for them, because they're not going to treat you right. They have to be in their knowing as well. Okay? It's about being patient and loving yourself first. Knowing that you're not with your twin right now because that's what's best, because you wouldn't be best for each other. And the longer you wait, the clearer you both become, the better your union is when you come together. Okay? Because you don't bring all that crap with you together. You don't make new crap when you come together. You know what I mean? So, but even if you're together, either way, that's your contract. Everyone's is slightly different. Some people are married, some people not. Some people, their masculine may be with a lot of different people over the journey, and some not at all. They just have their own issues to get through before they can let go and free themselves to be in an intimate relationship. So it's just different for everyone. Don't expect yourself to get right in there, because it takes time to clear your wounds. You do have to do that wound clearing. It's 4,400. That's for the masters, for Metatron, and for Paul the Venetian. It's just let go. I know how hard it is, believe me. It's just find what you really love to do, what you enjoy to do. That's your work. Staying grounded, meditating, and keep yourself clear. It's not about being in fear and being in protection, because then you're creating fear. Okay, comes a time when you're first awakening. Yes, you need to pay attention to. You might want to, keep yourself protected. But once you get past a certain point, you armor yourself with love. There's nothing else you need to do. If you clear yourself, fill the empty spaces with beautiful organic love and light. Okay. Okay, you don't need to be in fear. If you see things that make you uncomfortable in your meditation, wrap them in your love light. Okay, it's about not going into fear. When you go into fear, you pull fear into you. Okay, so it's just about being love. And when you're not and you're cranky, then go off and be on your own until you feel good again. Okay, and let it out. Cry. Punch a pillow if you need to. Just don't punch another person or an animal or smush an insect. Okay, and that's from my ant friends. Drink your water. I'm going to show you the picture. Make sure you're eating healthy. I probably could be eating healthier right now. I have to go to the grocery store. Sorry, I have to plug in because my battery went out, so now it's going to take a second. Sorry about that. Picture's up on the icon, but I'll give this a minute, see if we can get it up so I can give you that picture. So yeah, make sure you get enough rest. I didn't get enough rest last night. I just couldn't sleep. It wasn't because I stayed up or anything. I just couldn't go to sleep. I was going to get up at 5 because it was almost 5, and I was like, and then of course I fell asleep then. See, while I'm waiting for this, might as well pull you another card. I'll give you one from the traditional Rider-Waite. Take another deep breath, if I still have you here with me. Clear in a line. Clear in a line. Clear in a line. Alright. Okay, Metatron and Paul the Venetian. January 2nd, 2019. Any last words for these guys? Any last words? Any last information that we need to know? Okay. We've got a little bunch there. Over here. The bottom of the deck is the 2 of Swords here. And then the 4 of Cups right beneath it. I'll show you here. Alright, so we have the Queen of Cups, the 4 of Cups reversed, and then the 2 of Swords. That's just the underlying energy. So it's very much about starting over in something, like you didn't get near completion, you're only halfway done, but you're like, nope, this isn't it, I'm starting over, being in your knowing this time. So that's good for the feminine for sure. I'm going to give you the picture first because I will, even though I'm waiting just for this, I'll forget to give it to you again. Okay, so this is the read. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. I know the picture quality is not great. Alright, so the reads that came out for you, the cards. Let's see what we have here. Let's see if I can get them so you can see them all. Here what we have. We have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the 7 of Pentacles upright, the Empress, and the Knight of Wands. Okay. So the 9 of Pentacles reversed has 2 energies to it. For me, one of them is just about not being in your power, losing your independence, your money, as a single person. The other energy is no longer wanting to be single, wanting to let go of your sovereignty because you want to be in a relationship. Then we have the Knight of Swords, which is someone charging in with the truth. He looks like he's going to cut this guy's head off. All right, this guy is the 7 of Pentacles guy. You know, he's sitting there, sitting on his money, relaxing. He worked really hard for that money. But he's taking a break, and now he's daydreaming on how he wants to spend that money. Does he want to go back and earn more, or does he want to just sit on it and retire? And the Knight of Swords guy is coming in like he's going to like chop this guy's head off. That could be you, Divine Feminine. So then we have the Empress, who's sitting pretty. And then we have the Knight of Wands. There's definitely mother and daughter energy here. And karmic energy too. And you could be the Divine Feminine not in your power and speaking your truth to your Divine Masculine to try to get him to wake up, you know, wake up already. Stop daydreaming on your money, and giving it to, letting your Empress take it all, or the mother. It could be the karmic or the mother, but whoever it is busy running around the Knight of Wands. So the Empress is busy running around. But I was also getting recently, and I haven't gotten this for a long time, but there could be some karmics who may be cheating or running around. They just could be busy physically, but there could be a couple who are also cheating. I was getting also energy of people stashing money. Like especially if you're in karmic relationships and you broke up, or you were going to get divorced and then you decide to stay together for a while. Especially Divine Feminines, listen. Because what karmic male, you know, who knows he's eventually going to be divorced, is not going to try to stash money on you. You guys be getting along great, and you're not thinking of that, okay? So you might want to think about that. You know, you think you're staying, and you're not doing anything, you know, oh, I might as well stay, my twin doesn't want me, and this was coming up today. It has nothing to do with the person I was talking to today, but it's just energies coming up the same for her. And I'm actually thinking about other relationships in my own life. You know, if you're staying in a relationship you don't want to be in, you're doing what your twin's doing, not being in their truth. So you can't get mad at your twin if you're doing the same thing. And also, you're giving your karmic an opportunity to take stuff away from you, okay? Because they already know that you guys wanted to leave each other. So they get the idea that this is probably going to end up bad for me, so I might as well hold on to what I can. And it could be the other way around too, or the feminine karmics or the feminine divine feminines could be stashing money away. So just be careful about doing underhanded things like that, okay? That's not the truth either. Here we have the King of Swords reversed, not in his truth. Okay, so that's the masculine. The feminine's doing okay. She's figuring it out. The masculine still has a little bit of stuff to go through. It's kind of like, you know, in the read, it came up with the Emperor with all this stuff on him. That's 5252. That's the Queen of Swords times 2. That's, you know, being in mourning, but in your truth. Okay, so stand strong, be in your truth no matter what. And don't forget, you're leading the masculine, so stay positive. Don't wait for him to come to you. You be the example, okay? You're leading so that they can follow. And then maybe eventually they'll come, but you have to energetically, etherically lead them. Drink your water, get your rest. Rise and be loved, guys. Bye.